The house! We're back!
We're back.
It is amazing. Jeremy is amazing.
Jeremy is amazing.
That's pretty much why we're here right now, is to talk about Jeremy Lin, and really for no other reason in the entire world except for this Linsanity, which has taken over the entire world. And if you didn't like it before, and if you thought that it wasn't enough the night before, last night was just absolutely Linsanity, just a Lin baby, unfreaking believable. This guy, the story continues, my man.
The story absolutely continues. I mean, it's amazing that people are nitpicking this guy with the turnovers.
Yeah.
But all he's doing is linning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one Lin after another.
How many verbs can we come up with already? And, how many, play on words with his name can we possibly have
I don't know, but there's one I haven't heard that I've definitely used with you. And I'm not afraid to use it on camera because it sounds ridiculous.
Tell me.
But I'm going to use it.
Tell me.
Last night, I definitely think I had a lingasm. I think I had a lingasm last night.
Yes, you heard it here first.
I don't think I've heard that one before. Maybe because it's not politically correct, but hey.
Let's get that going.
It's our show, I don't care.
If I see that tweet and hashtag, you know where you heard it. The golden one right here.
I definitely had a lingasm.
Well, there you go. There's a brand new version.
I'll stop saying it now.
That's one I haven't heard. Yeah, we're trying to stay PG over here, but that's PG enough for me. That was pretty incredible, and so was he last. I mean, look. The turnover's fine. People talk about that. A lot of point guards turn the ball over because they're trying to make things happen. He didn't come out hot last night. Maybe he's trying to get Amari involved a little bit early or whatever it is. But, look, just fast forward to the end of the game. He's got the ball in his hands at the top of the key. You got a tie game. And Calderon's playing like a good 3 or 4 feet off of him because he figures he's going to drive, because that's just what Lin does.
Right. He
drives to the hole and he figures he's going to make some sort of a play. But you know what he does? My man pulls up and pops a tray in his face and wins the game, man. That was unreal.
It was totally unbelievable. And you know what the craziest thing about it is that he didn't leave, 2.3 seconds. He didn't leave 3 or 4 seconds. He left a half a second.
Right. Well, he's from Harvard. You know he's smart. He calculated the whole thing.
I mean, he definitely calculated the whole thing.
That's genius.
I mean, it's just mind blowing. And you know what? If you watch his body language, he knew it was good when he released it.
Yeah, it was a pretty looking shot too. It wasn't even like it was a question. Right through the hoop.
It was just beautiful.
You know what's weird though? It's most of us saw it live. A lot of people unfortunately have to go to bars to see it because Time Warner has this issue here in New York City where the cable company isn't able to work out an agreement with MSG, and the Rangers are amazing right now, and nobody can see it, and now Linsanity's taken over the city, and I would say just about everybody saw it live, but somebody didn't for some weird reason.
Yeah, so that might be me.
You right, somebody.
You get to this strange point in life when you do want to try new things, so I played dodgeball, props to the Dodge Mahallers. Made the playoffs last night.
Congratulations.
And we went out to celebrate a little bit, and all the guys out there, they have Time Warner, so they can't watch the game unless they're in the bar.
There you go.
I'm going into this bar full well knowing that I have my DVR set so I can get home and have a lingasm at some point. So I'm at the bar, and everyone's talking about, they're watching the game, and they're going crazy, and this guy's trying to have a conversation with me about it, and I'm like, I got Dolan, man. I got Cablevision. I'm not worried out on the island.
Yeah, you don't need this.
So they're all watching the game. I have a hat with a brim pulled low because there's so many TVs. I don't want to be able to see the game.
Right. That's how diehard you are.
That's how diehard I am, and I'm so obsessed with the whole Jeremy Lin aura that I want to watch the game, and I want to watch it from the beginning to the end.
Right.
And so I'm watching, I'm not watching, I'm having a conversation with 2 people who aren't big into sports. I did that intentionally. I love you guys, it was a great conversation, but I did do that intentionally.
Now you know why he's friends with you.
Yeah. And so at 2 points, the place exploded. I mean, totally exploded. And I am.
Well, I guess everybody was having a lingasm.
Everyone was having a. It was like a menage a bar. It was like a menage a bar. Everyone exploded 2 different times, and I'm sitting there saying, my skin is like crawling because I'm like, what is going on? And I cannot look up, you know. This girl, the one I'm talking to, she doesn't know what's going on. She's telling me the Knicks are winning, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Be quiet, you know. So anyway, so I finally get a chance to watch the game. And here's what happens. I'm watching the game, and it's developing, and I'm waiting for these explosions. Like, I'm waiting for me to erupt.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he drives to the hoop. He throws this teardrop in with, I think, what that was, a minute left, a minute and a half left.
Yeah, we were under.
And goes. He got hacked to the floor, which by the way, the officiating in that game was
yes, I agree. It was like a football game broke out.
And he got knocked down so many times and didn't get the calls. In any case, he got the call on that one. The ball goes in. I think that was the tying hoop. And
that was to get him. And the free throw tied it up.
The free throw tied it up. So that was the first of the two explosions. And then, needless to say, the second explosion was the three-point shot with the half second left.
Really, just something else. It was awesome. Right, it just keeps adding on to the story again. As if it wasn't enough a week ago, it keeps getting better. Now he's hitting game-winning shots and setting more records. With 5 games in a row of averaging over 20 points and 8 assists. Last night he goes for 27 and 11. He didn't start out great. Amari came back. He didn't look great to begin with. God bless him, and again, our condolences to his family and everything. He's trying to find his way back in, but we see that it's going to work because as the game progressed and as we got into the second half, third and fourth quarter, Amari starts working with the pick and roll, exactly what he had done in D'Antoni's offense with Steve Nash before, and it looks like something that can work. Chandler obviously loves it; he's fitting in great. Landry Fields is able to move around without the ball, and he's playing good defense. Amon Shepard came in and shut down Calderon in the second half because Calderon was busting it up in the first. Whose name did I leave out who's on the team who's not playing now? A big star that we got.
On Knicks? Or
the Knicks. Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, Carmelo.
That's weird.
He hasn't played for a while.
No, he hasn't played, and we've won all these games in a row. And now the question is, how is he going to fit into the Knicks when he's one of the top, 10 players in the league?
Well, so check this out. Because we are known as obvious big-time insiders, I actually heard something on MSG. Obviously, Tom Warner, he's probably going to have privy to this information. I found very interesting. I want to say it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Apparently, this has been going on now for what, a week and a half with Lynn?
About a week and a half, yeah.
A week or two before that, while Carmelo was still playing, he was banged up, which wasn't his groin issue. He actually went to D'Antoni and said, "Give this guy a look."
That's right.
And everyone's saying, "How is he going to fit in?" But in some way, not that it happened upon his word, because a few games were played after that, but he put the seed in D'Antoni's mind to get this guy in the court.
So adding on to what you're saying, it's like, okay, how is he going to fit in? Well, he wants Landon.
Yeah,
he wants him to fit in.
Because he doesn't want to be a point forward.
Exactly, and that's not what he's supposed to be. We spoke about that before. He's not supposed to be the guy who brings it up because he's a scorer, and again, while he is a good passer, that's not his job. That's not why
that's more LeBron James than it is
LeBron James can be a point forward, Magic Johnson kind of guy. So the point is that it can work, and it should work. A lot of people forget that Chauncey Billups was a pretty damn good point guard who played with Carmelo Anthony in Denver.
Yeah.
They went to a Western Conference Finals. I know they didn't get past that, but it seemed to work out pretty good. Now, again, here's one thing I really need to stress for whoever may be hating on Carmelo Anthony right now, and you really need to check yourself before you do that. When the game is on the line, and I know Lynn hit the game-winning shot last night, you can't count on that all the time, okay? When the game is on the line, you need a guy like Carmelo Anthony to have the ball in isolation, to one you up, to have that fear of the defender that I don't want to foul him or he could go to the line. He's that player, and they're very rare. You may have 4 or 5 in the league that can do what Carmelo can do night in and night out. So you need to still have him. He will fit in, and it should work out. So again, I want everybody to chill out with the Melo hate and how is Melo going to fit in. Carmelo is one of the best players on the entire planet, and he'll find a way.
He'll absolutely find a way. And I think people, it's like a prisoner of the moment. People are so short-sighted, they forget that this guy was the leader of the gold medal team just a few short years ago. And he was surrounded by stars then. He definitely had some decent point guards on that team. Chris Paul was on that team, LeBron Williams on that team. And he actually was the MVP of the team. So I don't see this being a problem at all. Is the ball going to stop with him every now and again? Yeah, and the difference will be instead of the 0.5-second game-winning shot of being Lynn, it'll be Carmelo. But you know what? Ain't the worst thing in the world.
No.
It's one more weapon, and more importantly, you got a guy who's going to distribute to everyone. Right. And it's not all on Carmelo now.
Yeah, I don't want everybody to forget how many big shots Carmelo has hit for the Knicks already in the short time that he's been here. I do understand that they haven't gotten better as a team since he's got here. But again, we're in a shortened season. It's a lockout year. They haven't had as much time to get together, with the health and everything that's going on. Some players just simply aren't healthy. We don't have a lot of great guys around, but now things could come together. Again, Shumpert plays excellent defense. There's one key right there. Obviously, Chandler's great in the middle. Jared Jeffries can, help out a little bit. He comes in and plays.
He's a glue guy. He's a serious glue guy.
Novak, if you need somebody to hit a three, you're down by 9 points in the third quarter. You need to get a few threes to bring him. The point is now they actually looks like they have pieces, and we're not going to go ahead and say the Knicks are going to the NBA Finals right now. It's only 6 games with Jeremy Lin and everything, but look, it's been great. It's a great story, and part of the appeal to it, and I mean this in nothing but a positive way, is the fact that he's Asian American.
Yeah.
And that's great. I mean, you see, a lot of new fans coming around. You saw a lot of fans having the Lin 17 shirt at the Garden and everything. And again, I mean this in a very positive way because we don't see a lot of Asian Americans transition to the NBA very well.
In any sport, really.
Right.
In any sport.
There's very few. Yao Ming, obviously, from China.
But he's an American.
Right, he's an American.
He's an American.
He's an American guy. He went to Harvard, and everything. It's just that unusual appeal to it makes it a little bit bigger. And you had mentioned before the interesting comments that Floyd Mayweather had about this.
Oh, yeah.
Which kind of seemed, where I'm talking about it in a positive light, he had it in a negative light.
Yeah, and he actually makes it sound like, or not makes it, I mean, he's basically saying it has nothing to do with his play. Floyd, do you watch basketball?
Do you know what stats are?
And not that I'm a big numbers guy, but in this case, the numbers aren't lying,
right.
and the numbers are the numbers. And even with Amari back, where maybe you thought you'd see a little downtick on the points, he had maybe his best game last night, aside from the turnovers. But you know what? The turnovers are only an issue when you're losing games.
Right. You're right. Exactly right. When you lose, exactly right.
And he's only played 6 games. The turnovers are going to come down. It's part of a process. He still had 11 assists.
Yeah, 11 assists. That's huge.
It's not like he had 8 turnovers and 2 assists. He had 11 assists. Deal with the turnovers. They're going to happen. It's part of the growing process. This guy's only going to get better.
Yeah, and the points came in the key moments. He put down the last 5 points, for the Knicks again with the and 1, and then with the 6, and then the 3-pointer, at the end to win the game.
And I think Shumpert had a lot to do with that because Shumpert, I mean, the first half, Calderon was running the game.
He really was.
And by the time Shumpert got on him and locked him down, it was almost like this switch of, okay, now we have Shumpert on Calderon. Calderon almost going to non-factor on both ends of the court at that point because of Shumpert, which, by the way, Shumpert's defense is insane.
Excellent defense.
I mean, his hands, first of all, his wingspan is 6'10".
Yeah.
But he's just got these long, active hands and arms, and when they drafted him, they said this guy can play defense.
Right. And he's committed to it.
And he's committed. I mean, he loves it. He takes pride in it. And you gotta love it.
Right.
That being said, Jeremy Lin plays great defense. He just didn't play good defense last night. Whatever.
Yeah, Calderon schooled him in the beginning. There's no doubt about it. And you're right. That was the turning point in the game when Shumpert went over and started guarding it because it freed up Lin to be more, fluid on offense and not have to worry about his defense so much. I got to get back and guard Calderon.
Right.
Shumpert, as we know, can contribute offensively. He had a huge steal last night and then a dunk. Which, kind of like almost set the tone a little bit for that, comeback. You see, the Knicks actually had come back in the game. They were down, 13 points, and they come back. But then Toronto goes on another run, and they go back up by 9. And then you figure, well, you know what, the Knicks got to lose one once in a while. But the will was there, the heart was there, the determination was there, and they didn't give up, and they came back again. And I still keep picturing in my mind this shot. I mean, these unbelievable moments. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And it's literally taking the world by storm.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's that game, and actually the Timberwolves game a little bit too. I mean, they almost actually had no business winning really either one of those games. But because they're coming around as a team, and they actually have an orchestrator now in Lin, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Knicks fan, it's something for Knicks fans to root for. But I think at this point, it's safe to say it's a little more than that. I mean, it's a little more than just having someone to root for. I mean, the whole season was turned around. They were what, 8-15 for this run?
8-15. Exactly
8-15 is disgusting.
Disgusting. Now they're one game under 5, and they did this all without Amari and Carmelo.
Yeah.
Our 2 best players.
Which means it can only get better because now you have just more weapons you're adding into the mix.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it all does work out. We think that it should work out.
And there should be bumps in the road, though.
Right. Things are going to happen. It's going to take time to get things together. Look, we saw with the Heat last year. They were 9-8 to start out the year.
Yeah.
It took them a lot of time to figure it out, but then toward the end of the year, disregarding, I don't really just mean to say disregarding, but take away the last few games of the finals, they busted through the NBA and they busted through the playoffs. And to jump over to them real quick, they quietly are the best team in the Eastern Conference by far. And I say quietly, so they won back-to-back road games, and I heard a stat, that's the first time that's ever happened. Since 1979, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just lighting it up, and LeBron is having maybe his best season ever.
I mean, he's going nuts.
Nuts.
I don't know if that accounts for the fourth quarter or not, and I say that respectfully, but it's still going to have to come to a point where he does it in the playoffs in the fourth quarter.
But let me say, does he
though?
Does he? Because he has Dwayne Wade. And maybe for his own reputation and respect and legacy, he does need to do it in the fourth quarter, but if the objective is championships and he's going to be looked at that way, then he doesn't have to, because maybe he just can't. But Wade can. We know he can.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? Just like what a lot of analysts have said, let Wade take control in the fourth. LeBron quarters 1 through 3, Wade in the fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, though? I mean, it's like, and I'm not saying he's got to be the point scorer in the fourth quarter, but like in the finals, I mean, he was just non-existent. He wasn't contributing in any aspect. And what we proposed the last time we spoke about this was, let him be the orchestrator. Let him, maybe he gets to the fourth quarter and it's it's Lob City to Bosch, or to Haslam, or kicking to Miller, and kicking to Wade, obviously, and maybe he'll rack up some assists and some rebounds and to be involved, but he can't be disappearing.
Right. People kind of do forget real quick that Wade was hurt in the finals last year. He had some back issues.
Yeah, sure.
He did. So he wasn't fully healthy, but I've said before, I think that they're just going to run through everybody. I don't see anybody stopping the Miami Heat this year, and my prediction is they're going to win the championship along with a lot of other people. So, we'll see. But maybe our boys can give them a run for their money.
Well, I'm hoping by the time we'll be doing our show at that point, and we're going to be talking about the fact that we're obviously biased towards the Knicks at that point. They're going to be ready to take the Heat down, a little old school, early 2000s, 90s style Knicks Heat, and see what Lynn and Carmelo and Amari can do.
Let me throw this at you real quick. If this was happening a month and a half ago, Jeremy Lin would be leading the league in All-Star votes. Guaranteed. Because he'd be getting, votes. Just like how Yao Ming, when he didn't even play in the NBA, for when he was hurt, he led the league in, All-Star votes, because of the cultural icon that he is.
Of infinity billion people in China
voting
for him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Jeremy Lin, and I don't mean this in a bad way, and it probably deservedly so. I can't wait to see this progression through the rest of the season and to see if he really is for real and if he's all that. But right now it is Linsanity.
It is. I'll tell you what, though, too. The All-Star game and the festivities are in 2 weeks, I believe, and they have the rookie-sophomore game, which, for my money, it's actually one of my favorite events because it's just so exciting. They don't play a lot of defense, but it's a high-skill offensive game, and they're mixing it up this year. Barkley and Shaq are going to be picking the teams.
That's pretty cool.
And what I'm thinking, though, is they can't leave this guy out of the game. He's technically a sophomore. He's only been on the radar for a week and a half now, but I hope he gets into the game.
I didn't think of that. So they haven't made their picks yet.
They haven't made their picks yet. I mean, I would think he's got to get into that game, no?
Interesting. I like that. Yeah. How could you leave this from the excitement alone?
I think Shumpert will definitely be in the game because he's been doing it all year. Not to Lynn's level, but they got to put Lynn in the game, right?
I like that.
The NBA, would want him in the game.
Yeah, they're probably pushing for that too. There's no doubt about it.
How could you not?
That's a good call. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, we're going to get more into the NBA, and our New York Knicks. They got another game tonight. They're playing the Mavericks, who are the defending world champions over the weekend. So we're going to cut this segment short for now, but we're coming back with Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. Will they be back? And if they come back, where are they going?
Who wants them?
You?
I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll tell you soon. Thanks for hanging around.